What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Michelle Renee from IamMichelleRenee.com. And today I am elated to have another dope black businesswoman, dope black mom, dope black all things, because in all things we are dope, here with me today. Friends, tell everybody who you are, where you're from, and what your brand is.
Hey, everybody. My name is Demetrius, but everybody calls me DeeDee. I'm from a little town called Cocoa, Florida, and I'm here to represent my brand. I've worked in surgery for 22 years as a certified surgical tech. So I started an online store for surgical scrubs, Dorn scrubs and more. The fact that I've worked in surgery for 22 years lets me know I know the importance of needing to feel comfortable at work. So I've opened an online store, Megator Scrubs. I opened an online store just for comfortable, durable, stylish scrubs, just to help women. And I have a men's line. I also have maternity. So I ranges from sizes extra small, petites, plus, tall, men, and maternity scrubs. I also have lab coats, t-shirts, and the line will be growing. I just had my grand opening Tuesday, so there'll be a whole lot more in store. But it's just the fact, like I said, I've worked in surgery for 22 years, and we spend a lot of our days and a lot of our hours in scrubs. So since the pandemic and everybody is still having to work and still having to get through life, it just was always something that, why not look stylish, since most of our days now are spent in scrubs versus I go from scrubs to pajamas, feels like. But basically
Right.
just want to look stylish, want to be comfortable. They're very soft, they're durable, you can stretch, you can move. They're not the typical scratchy, stiffy scrubs. So that's what I'm here to do. Like I said, I worked in surgery, but I'm just trying to branch out and start a new journey and just keep it going.
I think that's so amazing because sometimes we think when we get into one field or one area that we're limited to only do that one particular thing, right? And I love
Right.
that you said it's not just comfortable, it's also fashionable. I want to be
Yes.
able to walk in and see my surgery tech or whoever's working in the medical field looking fly too. Like, I don't want you
Yes.
looking uncomfortable like you don't want to be there, right?
Yes. Looking stiff. Yeah, no.
Looking
You want to be
stiff. And
comfortable.
you know, a lot of daycare workers or childcare providers wear the scrubs as well.
Yes,
And that opens it up for them as well to have
it
something
does.
cute and comfy to be able to
I mean,
rock
from
in.
dentists, estheticians,
Yep.
masseuse, everybody now is wearing scrubs because it's just a nice uniform look. I particularly like, I have on a pair of black scrubs now, but it looks professional, and it
It
looks,
does. Cause I'm like,
yeah,
okay, she about to go handle some business when we get done today. Now, I gotta ask you a question. I'm not gonna
yeah.
ask you your age. I'm not gonna do that because
I'm
all things
50.
respect. I first of all, you could tell me you 73 and I'd be like, you know what? You ain't lying because black don't crack. But you said you've been in this field for over 20 years.
I
And
am.
you
I
don't
turned,
look like you could be more than 20 or 25 in that
I
area. So I'm
turned,
going,
I turned 50 in January. I turned
what?
50. Yeah, I did. I had my,
Yes.
yes, I turned 50. So I've been doing this a long time. And outside of doing this, I also have a medical tattooing business. I started
Really?
doing, I've done all surgery, but I did a lot of plastic surgery, orthopedics. I've done all surgery, but I gotten into last year, I went to school to be a medical tattoo artist. So women who's lost their breast from breast cancer, I do 3D nipple areola tattoos to make the breast appear to look like breast. So I also have a tattoo business, Adorn Aesthetic Inc. And my scrub store
Wow.
is Adorn Scrubs and More. So just kind of conjoining the two together and just giving back to help people in any kind of way that I can. But yeah,
You
I'm
just
50
gave me
years old.
chills because I didn't even think about, as soon as you said, medical tattooing, my mind went to more still aesthetics, thinking about brows, thinking about
Yeah.
things like that. But it just kind of hit me. Like I know a lot of people who are breast cancer survivors who may have had double mastectomies or things like
Hmm.
that. And I didn't even think about the fact of still having that aesthetic of having a nipple, having to, to be able to see that and still feeling like everything is there.
It's
That is
there.
so amazing. Like
Yeah,
you just
it
took me to
is.
a whole different level with that.
It
That's
is. It
how did
is.
you get what made you want to go into
Well,
that particular
like I
specialty?
said, I've worked in surgery for so long. I've done a lot of years of plastic surgery, but it was kind of more of more, implants, kind of more of a cosmetic side. I always was curious as to women that would come through, and I would be like, well, what are they going to do now? Like, what's the next phase? So over the years, I've thought about it. So last year, I took a course. I flew to Texas, Houston, Texas, with a very well-trained woman who's been doing this over 25 years. And I trained with her, and I've learned to do it. I could be doing it more. So right now, I currently I work at a hospital, and I work in breast care. So my job all day is I do mastectomies or flaps, reconstruction surgery for women who've had breast surgery. So I mean, who have had breast cancer. So now I'm like right in the field of it, and it's just amazing that the feeling that people do have once they see, like, wow, it just kind of helps them to feel maybe more like themselves again, just to have this procedure done. But it's a lot. It's a lot. It could be an
It really is,
emotional.
because when we think about just the way that it affects us, that is such a it's a profound thing to
It
know that
is.
you can have that normalcy back, that normal aesthetic. That's amazing. So that just like I said, that just took me back. I had to kind of sit with that for a second because I'm
Yeah,
going,
yeah, yeah.
that changes a woman's life, right?
It does. It
Because
does.
dealing with
Everything
that
about
battle is
it.
hard enough.
Right. It does. It does.
It,
So
it,
I started that, but like I said, I started Tuesday. This is my new baby, my new journey, as far as just scrubs to help any profession. It doesn't have to be medical, because like I said, I run into people from dental, estheticians, masseuse, a lot, everybody, chefs, everybody now is wearing some form of a uniform or some form of a scrub. So I'm just here to try to start this journey and to help everybody look comfy and classy and stylish, and just to get it going and
I think
adorn,
that's
scrub
amazing.
you more. Yeah.
So tell us about the journey to get here just as a whole. Like
As a whole. Well,
as a whole, as
I've
a
had a lot
woman,
of.
what brought you to this place? Because we know that doing this job and getting like sometimes we find our journey and we find our purpose in different things. So you seem to have found your purpose. How did you get here?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of, I don't want to say stumbled upon. I've been through a lot of things in life. I started off young. I became a mom at 16 years old. I was a teenage mom. So I'm not gonna lie, I was one of those rebellious kind of, I'm gonna just figure it out and just do it however I want to do it, one of them kind. So after years of doing that, like I said, I became a teenage mom at 16. So after years of doing that and years of making bad decisions, and I ended up, a friend of mine, we ended up leaving town, and we're going to travel around and move all around. So next thing I know, I'm living out of hotels, and I'm writing bad checks. I have two daughters at the time. I'm writing checks to eat food, stealing food. By now I'm like early 20s, just kind of running wild, just doing whatever I feel like doing, because that was just my attitude at the time, to do whatever I feel like doing, making a bunch of bad decisions. And after doing that, probably for about 2 months with her, she kind of decided, well, I'm going to go back home. And at that time, it wasn't an option for me to go back home. I was going through a divorce at the time. I had been married, and I ended up staying. And at that point, I was homeless. I ended up in a sweet little town called Knoxville, Tennessee. I ended up in Tennessee, and she left, and I ended up living in this hotel. And woman at the front desk, we had been living in this hotel for so long. She knew us, and she knew my youngest daughter. I left my oldest daughter in Florida at the time, just because she was old enough to really understand what was going on. My youngest daughter, she was 3, so she can kind of hang it out with her mom, in my mind, not thinking she really knows what's going on, but probably in a sense she did, but you know how that goes. So they ended up leaving, and the woman at the front desk ended up referring me to Department of Children and Family Services for Tennessee, because I'm homeless. I don't know a soul, and I have done all that I can do to exhaust my way to live. So she referred me to DCF. Once I got to DCF, with me not knowing a soul in the town, they immediately gave me housing. So for 6 weeks, I lived in a shelter with my daughter for women and children. It was kind of like an underground. A lot of women were hiding, running for their life. They're court ordered, so we couldn't receive phone calls. And if you called out, the numbers were blocked to protect some of these women who were really, running for their life. I ended up living there for 6 weeks, going through counseling, and that with that situation, they offered me free
Wow.
education and free housing for a year. So at this point, I'm 24 years old, and I'm like, girl, you got to get it together. So I got it together, and I accepted the opportunity. I ended up going to surgical tech school. I graduated with honors, and I lived there for 4 years. I ended up living in there with 4 years. My oldest daughter, she moved back, and so that's how I ended up in that situation, from being homeless. And they paid for me to go. I got myself together, and I lived there, yeah, for 4 years, and then I moved back to Florida. Well, after I moved back to Florida, the first year I moved back to Florida, my oldest daughter passed away.
Wow.
So yeah, so that sent me, in a whole situation. And that's been since 2000. She passed in 2000. She was 12 years old. So ever since then, I've just been on a path to just to continue, just to keep going. My main thing in life is I don't care what you're going through. I've been through so many things, from mental, emotional, physical, abusive relationships, losing my daughter, homeless. But one thing I never, ever, ever, ever lost is just my faith. I don't care what was going on. I just always knew that this isn't who I was destined to be. This isn't me. This isn't I wasn't brought up like this. I'm from a very, well knit family. It's not like I came from a rough life. A lot of decisions that I made, I didn't have to make. That's what I chose to do. I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to be homeless. I could have come home. I just didn't want to, because that's just how I'm made. I'm just strong like that, and I'm just gonna have to figure it out. I've always figured out stuff for myself, because that lets me know it's for me. It's not somebody. I'm so quick on. I don't need somebody to tell me what something to do, that I think at times it crippled me, because I'm so strong. But that strength has gotten me to where I'm at now, because I just want people to know, just never give up. I don't care what your situation is appearing at this current moment. That's not your final. That's not your final. You just got to keep going. Just keep fighting, keep pushing. Even if it's so cloudy that you just can't see through it, the sun is going to come back out. You just got to keep going. The main thing is just keep going. I don't care if you don't need any validations from anybody else. You don't need any approvals. Anything that is for you is for you. And you acquire that for you. And it'll put a sense in you that it's just a happiness in you, that that's something that you conquer. And it's not for somebody else, or it's not for the approval of somebody else. I just think so many people these days are caught up in the illusions of how something look. Like, I think
Right.
social media, or just things in general, have people looking at other people, like they're bigger than you. You wouldn't be able to look at me as I'm all dolled up today. You wouldn't
Right.
know this the one who has
I
written
wouldn't know
bad
your
checks.
story. I
No, you
wouldn't know
wouldn't.
your story. I wouldn't
You
know
wouldn't.
that you've been through the things that you've been through. And that's why I always love that saying, I don't look like what I've been through.
I can
Right.
say I don't look like what I've been through.
Right.
I don't look like
But
I've been arrested for I don't know how many fights and disturbances and aggravated assaults and stuff assaulted on me, or written bad checks, or like I said, stole food to eat, or just a lot of things. I don't
right.
look anything like what I've been through. So that's my main thing to people also, is stop looking at people like you can tell, oh, she looked like you don't know what somebody's been through. You couldn't have,
Right.
and I don't even tell
And
half the
even
things
not
people
just
do.
been through, overcome, because
Come,
yeah, you've been through that, but not only that, you've overcome that. Like
yeah,
who you are today in this space, in this right now, is not who you were 25 years
no,
ago. It's not who you
no,
were all that time ago.
yeah,
And it's a true testament. It's a testimony first and foremost. But it's a true testament to really overcoming and being able to say, you know what, this is what change looks like. This is
yes,
what evolution looks like. This is what growth looks like. This is
yes,
what faith looks like. This is what, when you believe so strongly that the calling that God has put on your life is real, and you finally accept it for what it is, and you stop rejecting it, because that 25 years ago you was a person who was rejecting something that probably had
yes.
already been
Oh my
spoken over
gosh,
you. You had already
yes,
been told you were going to do great things and accomplish great things and establish great things, and you couldn't see it at that time, right?
yeah,
So you
yeah.
were
I couldn't.
like, not me. I'm not even worthy of that. It was when you found out that you was worthy of that.
Yeah. Worthy of that, and knew,
Yes.
just just finally slowing down and taking a look around, like, what am I doing and where am I at? Like, I'm living in a shelter, sharing a bedroom with full of a room full of bunk beds with women and their children. I'm just looking around like, this just isn't who I was programmed to be. Like, this just isn't. I've ended up in this situation because of bad choices. And
Right.
those choices I chose. Like, I didn't,
Right.
I chose them. And at the time, I'm not gonna lie, I had a wonderful time doing them, but
Right.
it comes a point where it's just, I have to get it together. And then I just felt like, once I got it together, it's just a situation with my daughter. Like, it just made me feel at a point like, is this just something from all what I've been doing? Or,
Mhm.
you go through that.
Am I being
But we
punished?
all know at this
Is this
point, we
the
have no
debt?
control.
Yep.
We have no
Is this the
control
debt
over
that I'm paying for the choices that I made?
that I've
And
made. So,
we've all been at that crossroad where we feel like, am I still being punished
yeah,
for the poor choices that I made in my past?
yeah,
And it's this constant reminder that you have to forgive yourself.
yes, yes. And,
It's
and,
that
and for a
constant
while, like
remembrance of
when that
that.
first happened, I kind of battled with that. But shortly after, because like I said, because of my faith and my family, I knew that's not the issue. We have no control over anything that goes on, especially something spiritual and as high and as powerful as that. So once I accepted that and could accept that, now I have to focus on my younger daughter, she's 29. So, I had to reshift my mind, because one thing I do know, everything starts and ends up here. If you focus on that all day long, that's what you'll be. So when I wake up in the morning, I have positive thoughts, I have positive energy. I don't participate in negative energy. Like, I will immediately shut it down, because I've come too far to entertain in a lot of things. So I know it's all in your mind. A lot of everything is created in your mind. And if you harp on it or place yourself there, it can take you out.
You're right. You're
It
exactly
will
right.
take you out. So your mind is everything. If your
It
mind is
is.
weak, it can destroy you. It can destroy you. So I just keep my faith, and I will always have it. And I'm gonna keep on pushing this new scrub store, Adorn
I
Scrubs
love
and
it.
More. And
I love it. I
that's
love
that.
it. I love it. Can you tell everybody, like, I want to end that part and just say that we all have a story. We all have something that has been life changing for us. And if you haven't, sis, if you haven't or don't have a story yet, trust me, it's coming. I
It's
tell
coming.
sisters all the time, it's coming. It's
Yeah.
coming.
And that
And
story
it
is
doesn't
gonna
have to be a life altering, life changing, life ending story, but it's going to be something, especially if you're not on the path of making the decisions that are going to be in your best interest, or the best interest of your family, or the best interest of your body, or the best interest of your mind. You are going
yes.
to find yourself in this space where I call it the put up or shut up phase, where
Yep.
you got to make a decision.
Yep.
Sometimes it's making a move.
Yep.
Sometimes it's,
Yep. That's how I got here.
eliminating a person from your
I've been
body.
here. I'm here 3 years. I moved to Atlanta. I'm in Atlanta, and yeah, that was another big decision. It's like, I toyed around with it for so long, and about 3 years ago, I just jumped out on faith, like, this is it, and it's time, and I'm gone. So
Yeah.
filled out an application, got called like 2 weeks later, flew up for an interview that morning, flew back that night, and I moved, and I'm here, and everything has just been taken off since I got here. So I know the Lord has placed me here for this reason, and I'm gonna just do everything. So my scrub store is named after my daughter. My daughter's name was Ashley, and my last name is Dorn. So the Adorn is her first initial, and our last name. So it's Adorn Scrubs and More, and Adorn Aesthetic Inc. So it's named and dedicated after my daughter Ashley, and she's always in my heart, and she's guiding me through. She's pushing me on. Yeah,
Even in her absence, she's still
even in
very
her.
present with you. And I think that's amazing. Tell people how they can find you, where they can shop for these scrubs.
All
Let
right,
them
you
know
can
all the details.
All right, you can find me. It's www.adorn, ADORN, SCRUBS.com, Adorn Scrubs and More. You can find me on Facebook, Adorn Scrubs and More, or at Adorn Scrubs, ADORN, SCRUBS, also on IG. And my email address is adornscrubs@gmail.com. That's where you can
Listen,
find me.
I'm so excited that I had this opportunity to chat with you. Can you, before you go, give me one word that affirms who you are?
Strong,
Why?
because I'm not gonna crumble.
Ooh,
I've laid down so many times, but I'm gonna get right back up. Like I'm not laying. I'm gonna lay down, but I'm laying down because I gotta think real fast. I'm a thinker. I
yes.
gotta process everything, as I say. But strong. I'm gonna lay down, but I'm getting back up, and I'm
Sis
gonna
is
keep getting
strong,
back
and
up.
sis said she is not crumbling. I
I'm
love
not
that.
crumbling.
I
No.
love that. Y'all go shop with your girl. Grab yourself some cute scrubs. Get
Please
yourself
check me
together,
out.
or make yourself a makeup consultation so you can get that aesthetic
That's right.
tattoo, the
You
medical
see this
tattooing
makeup. My
done.
daughter's a makeup artist, Jade Ashley
Yes.
Cosmetics. So check her out too.
Oh
She
yes.
can
We'll
do
have to
something
get
there.
her on the blog as well. Cause
I
we're all
will.
about promoting that.
She's a makeup artist, and she does a lot of modeling here in Atlanta. So it's Jade, Jade Ashley Cosmetics. Check us out. We
For
the
sure. Y'all.
duo to
Thank you so
reckon with.
much.
You
I'm
thank
so
you.
excited. I'm so
Thank
excited.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Listen,
Thank you.
God
I truly
continues to send you
appreciate
new
that.
people that that have, like I said, have a story to tell and have something that people can benefit from, one from the story and from the business. So you've given us both today. Thank you so much for your time. Everybody go
Thank you,
follow
my
this
sister.
Black Queen, support this business, promote it. If you know another dope Black woman that you'd like to be see
And I
featured or
also
highlighted,
I want to give my
go ahead.
personal Facebook page because I'm just getting my
Yes,
business page going, so they'll find me. It's DeeDee Dorn DORN. That's my Facebook page and my IG, so they can find me there. And as I try to get my business pages, up and going, but DeeDee Dorn DEEDEEDORN. Come check me out. You won't be disappointed.
absolutely.
Have all sizes, colors, styles, anything you need. Hit me up.
I
And
love it,
thank you
y'all. I'm
so
gonna
much,
drop
my
all of that in the comments too. I'll drop everything in the description so that you can click one easy click. If you don't see it, go to the article on IamMichelleRenee.com, and I will have every single link to her email, to the business, to the Facebook, to the IG, whatever you need to do to find Miss DeeDee Dorn. You're gonna be able to find it and check her out. I'm also gonna get her to send me Jade's information so I can
I
tag
sure
that
will.
as well. Cause we plug in everybody today. All right.
I sure
Y'all have
will.
a blessed one. Thank you so much for tuning in. And by all means, whatever you got going on, whatever you're doing, be sure to protect your peace and protect your energy.
Yes,
Follow,
please.
like, subscribe, and share. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you, my sister.